All right, everybody, welcome back to the Real Talk podcast where real people talk about the real. And today I want to go over with y'all purpose over pleasure, right? I said in the last episode that I would go over this in this episode, and today, as y'all can tell, it's early morning. It's kind of cold out, as y'all could probably see my breath, but hey, we still out here. We're still getting it done. So yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone that tunes in. And yeah, today we're going to be going over purpose over pleasure. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but um, yeah, let's get straight into it. So I want y'all to just sit there and think about for a moment what purpose over pleasure means, right? I think that's big in life. If you put pleasure first when everything, if you put pleasure first, excuse me, if you put pleasure first with everything in life, you'll never be successful. You'll never be successful because how are you going to be successful if you're putting your pleasure first? You have no purpose when you do that, right? It's like I said, there's those things that if you read them backwards, you'll understand it a little bit better, right? Pleasure over purpose. That's a negative thing. Purpose over pleasure is a positive thing. So just sit there, think about that, read it backwards to yourself. Purpose over pleasure, pleasure over purpose, sit there and think and let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. I think that's big. Like I said, pleasure could play games on you, it could play mind games with you. People, like I said, people be falling into lust nowadays very easily. That's you having pleasure over purpose, right? You're not allowing yourself to have a purpose when you are allowing your pleasure to take over. I think that's big. You got to remember your purpose. If you have no purpose, you need to seek a purpose. Don't seek pleasure because you have no purpose. I noticed in the last podcast episode that I was moving the mic a lot and it was making a weird noise, and I do apologize for that. I'm gonna still post it. And I hope y'all don't mind. There's still lots of game in there, lots of knowledge. It's a good episode. But guess what? I remembered what my purpose is, and my purpose is to give y'all the best content I can with my current setup, right? And I have to adapt to that because I have to adapt to my purpose. Obviously, I'm more pleasured by being comfortable moving my hands, and that's more comfortable for me. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. That's a pleasure for me, right? But guess what? This is my purpose, and I'm gonna sit here and stand still and let this mic be right here. I'm gonna try my best to not move my hands. So, excuse me. That's me having purpose over pleasure, not pleasure over purpose. And that's just something small that it could be so big. Don't allow yourself to be fooled by your pleasures either. I don't wish to obtain lots of money for pleasure. I wish to obtain lots of money because it's part of my purpose. I want to have financial freedom. I think that's a big part of peace of mind. That's just my opinion on it. That's my take on it, and that's just how I see it. If y'all agree with that or don't agree with that, like I said, let me know in the comment. I would love to hear y'all feedback. But yeah, let's really jump deep into this and go deep into thought and go beyond thought, like we did in the last episode about purpose over pleasure, right? I feel like a lot of times people see themselves a certain way, right? Or they go through a certain thing in their life, a certain traumatic event that leads them to sacrifice purpose and put pleasure first. That could be if something happened to you physically, if something happened to you mentally, to where you are now putting your pleasures first. And I see that a lot in this isn't to be sexist. I see that a lot in women. Just because it's more prone for women to, go through something that leads them to do that. That's not their fault. But they have to get a grip. And you right there watching have to get a grip. Whether you're male, female, or whatever you might be, you have to remember your purpose. Stop putting pleasure first. Stop putting what you think everybody else thinks about you first. Stop putting your pleasures you get from showing off your body. Stop putting that first. Because what is your purpose? And if you are struggling with finding your purpose, that's when you really need to stop doing pleasure over purpose. Because how can you find your purpose if you're putting your pleasures first? If you just sit there and think about that, it doesn't go hand in hand. You can't. You just can't. It just doesn't work. You could try to sit here and convince yourself that it does, but it doesn't. That's just a simple thing that everybody knows, right? So yeah, purpose over pleasure is big. I think it plays a major role with myself, you know. I felt at times I was putting other people's pleasures first over my purpose. And what I mean by that is, like I said in the last video, in the first episode, I find myself putting other people's opinion and other people's ideal lifestyle before mine. And I don't allow myself to have my own purpose. Now I understand my purpose because I did it at one point and I worked on it. And now I'm able to be here talking to y'all, whoever is watching. Thank you for watching, like I said. I'm able to do this. I'm able to remember what I want to do with my life. I'm able to remember my purpose. Excuse me. I don't want to put pleasure first. Like I said, I did for a long time, and it just doesn't. You don't allow yourself any room to have a purpose when you're doing that. Like I said, it just doesn't work. So if y'all are struggling with that, you have to find a purpose. Find a purpose. Stop putting pleasure over purpose. Put purpose over pleasure. Pleasures will come when you are really following your purpose. And you will notice that. You'll just notice that. Women will come to you a lot more when you're a man that is locked in the gym, in the mental lab, focused, you know? It's going to be up to you whether you fall for those pleasures, though, and you allow yourself to be shaded from your purpose. Will you be a shadow of your purpose? Or will you obtain your full purpose and live your purpose on a daily basis, you know? That's just big. That's big. It's so big that nobody wants to talk about it. Like I said, this is the Real Talk podcast, where real people talk about the real. And the real thing is that people have normalized pleasure over purpose. It just is. I don't know why. I can't explain to y'all why people are like this, but it just is. But guess what? It's up to you whether you want to change that. Only you could change yourself. I can't change you. These words might be able to help you a little bit, but guess what? I can't change you. It's up to you what you do with what I'm saying, right? It's up to me what I do with what I'm saying. It's true. It's big. So remember y'all's purpose. Stop putting pleasure over purpose. Stop falling into lust. Stop falling into temptation. Stop falling into evil. You know, evil might you might be pleasured at times by evil. Evil's weird like that. It'll sneak up on you and it'll pleasure you. The devil might give you an easy way out and it might pleasure you. But guess what? God doesn't want that, because God wants you to have purpose. God wants to give you purpose through him, right? He's blessed us with all that. He sacrificed himself. You know, Jesus sacrificed himself so he could also give us purpose and make us understand that your purpose comes first, not your pleasures. Jesus could have easily said, no, you know, I'm powerful enough to, you know, I could hurt all these people, you know, like he says. Someone slaps you on the left cheek, give them the right cheek. Don't give them back violence. I grew up in a very violent household, you know. I never was able to give someone my right cheek. Slap me here. You know, you just put your hand across my face. So guess what? Now I'm going to be pleasured by beating you up, or whatever the case may be, you know. Got lots of scars on my body from fighting, from whatever. And that was me being stupid, being young, and putting pleasure over purpose, right? I think everyone struggles with that, especially when we come from traumatic households. And even allowing yourself to sit there on your trauma and let your trauma control you is you putting your pleasure over purpose. Like I said, this is big. This is so big, y'all. This is so real. And it hasn't been normalized to us, but it's up to us if we could find that in ourselves to put our purpose first. I feel myself being pleasured by helping people sometimes, right? I don't know if that's evil of me. I don't think it is. I think that's just natural of me to want to help my peoples, especially my family. I can't bear to see them dealing with what they're dealing with. Excuse me if y'all can hear the bird. I don't know if y'all can or not. Excuse me. Like I said, that's big. I find myself being pleasured by helping others, so I would put other people before me. I allowed myself no room to grow, to have a purpose. I had no purpose, right? How could I have had a purpose if I was putting other people first? I can't. It just doesn't work. Like I said, y'all could try it, and y'all could try to lie to yourselves like I did for years and years and years and years. 19 years is a lot. It's a lot. Like the guy I like to watch is For Purpose Driven Men. But his stuff's for both men and female. Like I said, don't let titles or whatever someone's name of their channel is fool you. Watch it and see what you like about it. He has so much game in there. I think he also has an episode about purpose over pleasure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. I don't know if I watched it or not. I don't really remember. I watch a lot of his stuff. I watch a lot of Jay Shetty. He talks about, literally, if you notice, he kind of explains that he let his purpose come first and everything else kind of flowed. He's a successful man because of that. Same for the purpose-driven men. Same for the minorities. They talk a lot about it too. A lot of people I watch talk about it because it's not spoke about enough. So speak to yourself about it. Let yourself think about it. What is your purpose? Put your purpose first. Stop putting pleasure first, you guys. You will suffer if you keep doing that. So yeah. Like I said, this was going to be a short episode. I feel like I kind of addressed a lot of what purpose over pleasure is. Pleasure over purpose, purpose over pleasure, whichever way you want to say it. Just remember, purpose should be first, though. Put your purpose over pleasure. Stop being fooled by everybody. Stop letting what you see on the internet. Stop letting what you think you know about yourself. Stop letting yourself fool yourself to where you think pleasure comes first. That's big. Like I said, I can't help y'all with that. It's up to y'all. It's up to you right there watching. The person I just pointed at in the camera. Sorry if y'all don't like that. I'm sorry, but I like doing this right here. It's funny to me. And hey, that's my bad. Let's lock into the purpose. Put your purpose first. Understand your purpose. Understand yourself. Get to know yourself well enough to where you have purpose, and your purpose plays a major role to where you don't allow yourself to be pleasured so simply. I think we also are simply pleasured nowadays. It doesn't take a lot for me to be like, oh, that girl right there is beautiful, right? That's not me having a low standard. I have high standards still, but there's a lot of beautiful women on this planet. Like I said, there's 8 billion people on this planet, but you should not let that fool you. Be a purpose-driven person. Those beautiful women will come to you. Those men will come to you if you're a woman watching. Whoever you might want. If you like both genders, if you like one gender or the other, they'll come to you. If you have a purpose and you're going for that purpose, you're way more attractive to people too. If you find yourself, like, this one thing I noticed too, sometimes I feel like certain people I surround myself with, they want to put women first. They do what they do for women. That's not me, right? It's up to me if I'm allow that to be my purpose. I don't. Like I said, I did say in the first episode, maybe the only woman I have that plays a role in my purpose is my mom, right? But I'm even starting to realize that could be negative for me sometimes, and I'm not gonna let that fool me into the not obtaining what my purpose is. And I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching. I'm sorry that you might not have liked that. You might not agree with that, but guess what? I don't really care because I understand my purpose. You don't. No one else will. Who knows? Maybe someone out there will one day understand my purpose and support my purpose fully, wholeheartedly, to where I feel like they are. But hey, I don't right now. And guess what? I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let me finding pleasure out of people saying, oh, yeah, you go do that, Caden. People motivating me doesn't do much for me, because what's that going to do for me? If they're telling me my purpose instead of me understanding my purpose, then I am pleasured by them telling me. And then I'm putting pleasure over purpose, y'all. This is big. Like I said, this is a lot of game. Y'all have to understand this. If y'all want to learn, if y'all want to grow, put purpose over pleasure. Understand your purpose. Obtain your purpose. Go out there and achieve your purpose of life. Don't let life just fly by. Don't let spending all your money just happen because you find pleasure in doing it. Another thing I struggled with. I'm willing to speak about these things because, like I said, this is the Real Talk podcast where me, a real person, would like to talk about the real parts of my life. I struggle with that. As y'all can tell, I got on a nice fit right now. Not gonna lie, I like my fit. But guess what? I wasted my money on this. And once you start, me personally, I like clothing, and I'm starting my own clothing brand. I don't want to. I am. I already have everything made. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it, right? Once you go and look into how much clothing really costs to manufacture, you will notice these things. You are being scammed. This right here probably cost Carhartt like $20 to make. It cost $100 to buy. That's you being persuaded that your pleasures come first before your purpose. Your financial purpose, maybe. Your personal purpose, Like I said, one of my personal purposes of life it's one of the parts of my purpose is financial freedom. It just is. I didn't grow up like everybody else. I have lots of money. I earn my keep and I take care of myself. Proud to say it, but I don't take care of myself enough. And it's not enough for me to take care of myself because, as I said, I still live in my mom's house. And guess what? That's me not having enough money. So guess what? My purpose tells me, go get more. Don't be comfortable with where you're at. Don't find pleasure in being comfortable with where you're at. Something big I talked about, right? People in 9-to-5s usually find pleasure in that 9-to-5. They let themselves be persuaded that this is the lifestyle, this is my purpose. It's not. Why? Why be so closed-minded that that's your purpose? You get what I'm saying? But yeah, yo, I just wanted to come on here and let y'all know that y'all need to find your purpose and let your purpose be first. Stop allowing pleasure to take control of your life. Put purpose over pleasure. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys struggle with pleasures that you don't put first before your purpose or whatever the case may be. And we could talk about it. Who knows? Maybe y'all could come on this podcast one day and y'all could come here and conversate with me about it. But yeah, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. This is the Real Talk podcast where real people talk about the real. And stay tuned. Episode 4, we'll probably go over another book. I'll probably just keep doing that. Sometimes I'll obviously go back to back with certain things I want to talk about, certain topics, but we'll probably do a book next. Yeah, I'll do The Way of the Superior Man. Like I said, that's a book I want to do really bad. So we'll do that next. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, find your purpose. Put your purpose first. Purpose over pleasure, y'all. Thank you.